Growing season is here, and I hope this video will help you deal with climbing plants. Initially, we tried wire mesh held in with rebar. That didn't work so well, and it wasn't tall enough. Our fix was to break out our welding equipment. Here's what we made. There's 2 vertical supports on either side of the raised garden. The vertical supports are welded onto a base, which is screwed into the raised garden bed. There's a metal rod at both the top and bottom of the vertical supports. Then it's just a matter of hanging twine between the 2 metal rods. Okay, let's get started building this thing. First, we cut out the base. The perfect tool for this is the plasma cutter. It uses electricity and compressed gas to create an arc of plasma. You know, the stuff the sun is made out of. And it can make pretty short work of pretty thick steel. Now we need to drill some holes for the mounting bolts. First, we bisect the metal by drawing lines from corner to corner. This is the center of the rectangle. This is where we will be welding the vertical support. Now I want my mounting holes equidistant on either side of that support. For mounting hardware, if you have lots and lots of money, you can use stainless steel lag bolts, or if you're poor, go with the galvanized. And of course, you'll need washers. Oh, while you're at the hardware store, pick up some O-rings. You want them to be the same size as your top metal support rod, in my case, 1/2 inch. I'll show you what to do with these later. I found a whole bunch of 1/2 inch stainless steel rods at a metal salvage yard. At only $2.50 a pound, you know we jumped all over that. Mark each rod to the length of the bed that it's going to be mounted on. Then cut it to length. Something that surprised me was my plasma cutter did an absolutely horrible job cutting stainless steel. I don't have enough experience welding to know if it was my problem or the machine's problem. So I went ahead and used a cutoff wheel for the rest of my cuts, and that worked pretty well. My vertical supports will be made out of 1-inch square tubing. First, I center punch where my top dowel's going to go. Then I drill 1/2 inch holes in all those spots. Again, I rotated between drilling and ice water. I really need to get some cutting fluids. The metal rod in the hole was a pretty tight fit, and I wanted to loosen it up a little bit. That's where a stepped drill bit comes in handy. You can just widen your hole a little teeny bit. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. I forgot to film this, but before I welded these metal rods onto the bases, I drilled a small hole in the base to allow any water that accidentally gets into the vertical support to be able to get out. After that's done, weld the vertical support on. This hole is so I can put the bottom metal rod in. I'm welding it after the base is on because this was an afterthought. Initially, I just was going to have the twine hang from the top rod, but I found out the twine would be blown around by the wind, so I had to secure the bottom of the twine. I really didn't want to leave the top of the vertical support square tubing open because rain would get into it. So I cut out small pieces of 20 gauge steel, then welded them to the top of the supports. Grind it down. Now it looks like a solid piece of steel. Let's mount this in the garden. I love that my dog gets involved in all of our projects. What you doing over there? Pre-drill a hole at each of your mounting locations, then install your lag bolts. Remember those O-rings we bought earlier? Now's the time to use them. You want to slide one O-ring over each end of your metal rods. This will keep the metal rod from moving. I know I could have welded it, but I want this to be an assembly that I can take apart and store during the winter months. The final step, take some natural twine, tie it to the top rod, and then the bottom rod. When you're done, put your seeds in the ground and wait. These sure look like some happy peas. Well, thanks for watching.